Hello and welcome to PPC Live, the podcast. I'm your host, Anu, the founder of PPC Live. And if you're used to hearing advice from PPC experts about how to ensure that we're keeping up with the ever-changing landscape, don't worry, you are still in the right place. Every week, we speak to a different PPC expert about their biggest F-up, but not just that, how they turn these things around even. These are people who are heads of departments, heads of digitals, founders, and people who are doing well, still doing well in their career, are still respected in the industry. So these are not people where the mistakes, held them back in any way or held their career back in any way. But yeah, we'll be also talking about things that were disappointing and just learnings to ensure you don't make the same mistakes again. Today we speak to Emina Demiri, who is a head of digital at Vixen Digital, who are based out, a lovely agency based out of Brighton. And she talks about how they fired one of their biggest clients, like a client that accounts for, let's say, about 70% of their revenue. Now, this is not a lesson of don't fire the toxic client because of how much revenue they're bringing in. It's a totally different lesson. And, she speaks to us as to what they didn't do well, what they did well, and how they then, got back on their feet from making the mistake of overloading their revenue on just one client. So yeah, that's a key clue there in terms of what the mistake was. But yeah, let's go speak to Emina now. Hello, Emina. Welcome to PPC Live, the podcast.
Hi, Anu.
This is such a long time coming. I always love hanging out with you, like at conferences, and especially at FCDC, where literally we decide to do a photo shoot in the toilets, because why not?
Yeah. The selfie in the toilet.
The selfie in the toilet. It's a classic one. Oh, bless. So yeah, thank you, Emina, for taking the time. I know you've got such a busy schedule, a busy team, and Vixen Digital are always doing great stuff. So let me get to introducing you to my fantastic audience. So Emina, she has got a fantastic career of helping organizations grow with digital marketing. She's managed teams, created strategies, wrestled with agencies, and got stuck in the weeds. She's their head of digital, but I love the way that she pretty much also will always be talking, and she's like, oh yeah, I've got my hands dirty with PPC and SEO and the different marketing channels, knows how to talk in depth without the different channels work, which is very, very amazing. So these days she's still learning agency side, helping their brilliant clients at Vixen Digital to grow. She's a firm believer in data and performance driven marketing, so focus on ideal customers and revenue impact, the right blend of channels to maximize success, testing and learning approach, and failing forward. This is what this podcast is all about. So great guest to have. She believes in this, and building lasting partnerships with clients and other agencies. Fun fact, this is, what? I started doing this in the last episode, and I'm going to continue with you. I'm not even going to say the fun fact. Emina, what's your fun fact you want to share with us today?
Do you want the pasty or do you want the fishing?
I want both. I want both. I'm greedy. Let's start with pasty and how you went, how that experience was.
So, one of my early jobs, actually a job after doing my master's degree in development studies. I was trying to find a job and struggling, the catch-22.
Yeah.
You need the job to get the experience, but you need the experience to get the job. Yeah. So I ended up applying to work in a pasty shop, and I got fired.
And what was the reasoning again that they gave you for firing you?
There was two things. One of the things was that, rightfully so, and I was honest about this.
Yeah.
They were worried that I'm not going to be there for very long, because I did say very honestly in the interview that, I have a degree. I'd like to work in something that's connected to my degree. So fair enough. But the second one, I was too opinionated. Because obviously I came in there and immediately tried to reorganize things.
Yes.
And that didn't land well. So I got fired from a pasty shop.
Oh, God.
The other one is I love fishing, and I actually have a trophy and a couple of medals from fishing.
Wow, I love it. And who's your favorite person to go fishing with, and who's not allowed?
Not my husband.
No, yeah.
Not my husband. He does go, but my dad is my favorite person, because one thing, that's the only time that that my brain is quiet, because I really like the kind of the peacefulness of it and just focusing on the fishing.
Yeah.
Well, my husband likes to talk while he's fishing. So he went with me and my dad, and my dad said in Croatian,
Yeah.
"Can you please ask him to stop talking? Otherwise, I'm
Gosh.
going to throw him into the sea."
That's hilarious.
Obviously, he wouldn't have done that,
Yeah,
but
yeah, yeah.
I
But
thought that was
still.
hilarious.
Yeah, still.
So he's a persona non grata when it comes to fishing.
Amazing, amazing. So yeah, as we know, Amina is coming here to talk about, a mistake that she's experienced. And I love even how she was given the brief. She was talking about some parts of it. I was like, yeah, but so that wasn't a mistake. And she's like, no, 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 it was a mistake that turned into a triumph. She was literally repeating my podcast title back at me. I was like, oh, yeah, of course, that's the whole point of this conversation. So I'm so excited for Amina to share the story that she has with you today. You're going to learn lots. And, even to prepare those, this is not one of those examples of, you made a max CPC mistake or you made a targeting mistake. This is for big level working with clients. We've talked to other guests about, red flags you should spot kind of thing. And this kind of touches on it, but really is for maybe consultants who have clients or agency leaders who have clients to figuring out, when you do read that decision that a client needs to go, but doing it the right way, why it's important to do it the right way. So please, Amina, take it away. What's the F-up you'd like to share with us today?
So the biggest one was basically firing our biggest client. Now, that's scary on its own when you
Yeah.
think about it. It's particularly scary when you have 3 people in the senior leadership team who just want to do well for clients and for their employees. But one of the things that they haven't really done is made sure that they are very focused on not having a customer concentration issue.
Mm. Ah.
Big mistake
Yeah.
not doing that,
Yes.
because and this happens quite a lot in agencies
Yeah.
where you have like that one big client, and then if they leave, you kind of have to fire people and get rid of
Yeah.
people, which that is problematic
Yes.
because nobody wants to do that. But we actually fired our biggest
Wow.
client.
Wow. Okay.
It wasn't an easy decision, as I
No.
said, and we learned through the process. We learned so much
Okay.
about so many things. So
Yeah.
I'll talk about that.
So the main mistake was not preparing well for it. It was the right decision, but not prepared. So what made it the right decision to do?
What made it the right decision is because we all want to make money. You have an agency because you want to make revenue and you want to hire people. You need the money to pay that people. It's a business. But depending on the agency, sometimes for us, it was better to prioritize culture
Yeah.
and the happiness of our employees.
Yeah.
And I say this with, feeling a little bit hypocritical, because at the same time, I did have to let go of an employee, and I'm sure
Yeah.
that they were not happy.
Yeah.
However, when you're in a leadership position, you can't just focus on that one. You
Yeah.
have to focus on the company as a whole,
Yes.
the culture that you're building, and all of
Yeah.
your other employees.
Yes.
So what we ended up doing is spending a lot of time talking, having meetings and talking about what to do. And then we did a cost and benefit kind of analysis.
Mm-hmm.
And we just made a decision there and then.
Mm-hmm.
And it's interesting because, it happened about 3 years ago now. And since then, that was one of our core values, was
Okay.
really about, yes, we want to make profit, but not at the expense of us
Yes.
and our team pulling
Yes.
their hair out
Yes.
and everybody being unhappy,
Yeah.
because we're a small agency. So, perhaps I'm being cynical now, but perhaps in a big agency, when the leadership team isn't actually the one that's getting the grunt,
Yeah.
then it's not, maybe it's much more not attractive to
Yeah.
say, okay, well, but we need the money.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, yeah. You're far away from it. The leadership is very far
Exactly.
away from the people who are hands-on. You don't see
Exactly. You
hands-on the
don't
issue.
get that.
Yeah.
Yeah. But when you're sitting in a meeting and there's somebody who is, being unkind
Yeah.
and you're all there,
Yeah.
it's
Yeah.
personal. It gets a
Yes.
bit. So,
Yes.
yeah.
Yeah. So it was definitely a right decision. And then at what point did you then start to realize the way we've done this is not going well? Like, at what stage did it start having issues? Was it like
With the
immediately after?
client.
Or even like, you said the whole person, like, you started learning seeing that the way you did it wasn't great. At what point did you realize the way you do it was not going well?
So there's two things. One of them is like this agency organizational bit. We realized that we have made a terrible mistake with our customer concentration
Sure.
when we did the financials, when we
Right.
kind of sat
So the
down
money.
and saw that this is going to wipe out a big chunk.
Mm,
And it was kind of, oh my God, like,
yeah.
you
And this
know,
was this something that this was picked up after you fired or
no, before.
okay, so you saw it happening before. So you were
Yeah.
like,
And we
this
had to
is about,
make that.
but
This
you
is the
still made
impact.
this, yeah, yeah.
Yeah,
Okay.
exactly.
So it's more like you were reviewing about to fire this client, and then you're like, oh, we've made a mistake of actually the concentration of our client. Okay.
It's
Okay.
much bigger than what we thought.
Yeah.
Obviously, there's always financials. And
Yeah.
even in a small agency, even if it's a spreadsheet, you're going
Yeah.
to have all of your clients and revenue and all of that.
Mm,
One of the things that when you have quite a bit of clients and you don't have very fancy, expensive financial systems and things
yeah.
like that, what can get lost is the percentage that a single client holds within your revenue, and that's your customer concentration.
Yes.
And
Yeah.
we didn't realize how big that percentage was
Yeah.
tied to this client. So
Yeah.
it was at the time when we were already thinking, okay, right, this has gone far enough. We've done everything that we possibly can to save the relationship.
Sure.
Let's sit down and do the benefit and cost,
Yeah.
a quick Excel formula.
Yeah.
And we were like, ooh,
Yeah. Yeah.
we didn't expect it to be that high.
Yeah.
And that was a big learning for us. But then there's also the mistake on kind of like expectations.
Mm,
It is incredibly difficult in an agency to manage client expectations.
yeah. Yeah.
And particularly if you have goalposts
Mm,
that are kind of shifting.
mm-hmm.
And I know you mentioned red flags. It's easy when there's red flags
Interesting. Yeah.
in the in the beginning, in the
Yeah.
discovery call. It's much more difficult. We're all people, so relationships changed
Yeah.
and people come in and get out of a company and teams change. It's much more difficult when a relationship starts shifting
Mm,
later on. So
yeah.
there's no red flags and everything is working really, really well and
Yeah.
everybody is really happy, but you have to kind of get in there at the right time when the
Yeah.
relationship starts to shift.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
And choosing that moment, understanding the signs of it.
Yeah.
I'm not talking about, a pissed off email
No, no,
from
no. So give us a few of those
before.
signs. Give us. Do you know what a few of those signs that people could look out for can be?
Yeah. So one of the obvious one is performance. As
Okay.
soon as you see that you have a client, you're running Google ads and it's been doing really, really well. And all of a sudden, you do your monthly reporting and the results are not there, or
Mm,
you have your OKRs and you have targets and
mm,
you see in month 2 that you're not going to reach those targets.
yeah.
And then you kind of go into, kind of fighting fires modes,
Okay.
like
All
trying
the time.
to figure
Yeah.
out why this has happened. And being one of the things that's really important is to be transparent with the client, not to try to kind of hide. So results are like the first thing that you're going to be getting.
Yeah.
There are some more subtle things that you need to pick up on that are not so much as, you know, the relationship is changing, but there risk to the relationship changing.
Okay.
So, for example, if there's external factors that are happening
Mm,
that might impact how they're feeling.
mm,
For example, if the company is going for a restructuring,
yeah.
there's a lot of team changes.
Yeah.
We had a situation where a client was suffering from a security breach. That
Okay.
was, you would think it's a security breach. That
Yeah, it wouldn't
doesn't,
affect
it's
you.
down the funnel, like why do we care that, their system had a security breach and they can't do some of the things down the funnel? We're here to just bring them the leads. Well, it doesn't work like that. If their system on the other end has had a security breach, those leads that you're bringing in, it doesn't matter.
Yeah.
They can't convert them.
Yeah.
So the relationship, it's going to have a knock-on effect on your
Yes.
relationship with the client.
Yes.
So, I mean, a lot of it is common sense
Sure.
and
Yeah.
understanding the company,
Yes.
understanding their audience, you know, market shifts.
Yes. Yeah.
We tend to just be looking at, Google Ads performance. A
Mm,
lot of agencies just look at Google Ads performance and don't kind of only think about market impact if
mm,
they have a few clients in the same industry.
yeah.
And
Yeah.
then they think, okay, I've seen a trend there, so it must
Yeah.
be the market.
Yeah.
When actually market conditions should be part of your auditing when you're thinking about
Every
what might be
analysis.
impacting. And you
Yes.
should go online and have a look at what's been going on in that industry that
Yeah.
might be impacting what's
Yeah.
going on your account.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah.
yeah.
Okay. Well, that's some great, very great insights for people to take away in terms of like predicting of like, because as you say, you're very right. Those like, you see a red flag when you're trying to onboard a client and, you take that on board. Those are actually quite easy to tell, but actually we tend to get comfortable when things are going well. And then maybe
Oh,
we
yeah.
forget to look for any other flags that are coming down the road. Like, oh, the relationship is great, blah, blah, blah.
And then all of
Yeah.
a sudden an email comes in, like, and you're like surprised.
Surprise, yes. You're like, where did this come from? Yeah, prepare
Yeah.
yourself. Prepare yourself. Always be prepared for possibly things going wrong at any stage. So yeah, coming back to your story, this story about, you fired a client realizing that, yeah, the cost of it was really high. So at what stage how did you guys try to turn it around? What was it that really like turned it around that then made you guys more stable? Because you still fired the client that needed to be done. How did you guys claw back in terms of like making sure that your balance of clients looked better?
Yeah. So one of the things is obviously track it better.
Yeah,
That's
yeah, of
like the
course.
basic. You need to
Of
track
course.
it better, which I found it really interesting when you were saying that I was data driven. And
Yeah,
I'm data driven, but I'm also data realistic. Some
sure.
things you can't track, and
Yeah,
some
okay.
things you can, like your customer concentration numbers.
Yeah, yeah, if you can
So,
do it.
yeah, so from like the basic side of things, that's a big one. The second one, where it kind of like how we turned it around, is we talk a lot about values
Mm,
and about culture, but
mm,
I mean, it took us to go through this kind of exercise and this really, really big decision to just remind ourselves and to look at our values again,
mm.
because it's like a document that you do at the beginning.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah,
And it sits in your drive.
yeah.
And a lot of the times, with everything that people are busy, there's lots of things happening, clients come in and go, all of that stuff. You forget about that little document that's sitting there in your
Mm,
drive.
yeah.
And now we kind of try and go back to it, and we
Mm,
try and build on those values, and we know what we want to develop a little
mm,
bit more.
yeah.
So there's kind of that side of things. The revenue, it took us a long time to get to where
Mm,
we were. I
okay.
mean, I'm not gonna. So
So the
the
solution in
market,
that area was just time. Sometimes
it
you
was
just have to
time
give it
and it
time.
was hard work, and
Yeah.
it was also, if there's a lot of time, this is the kind of this idea of time has value.
Mm, mm,
yes, we had a really big client who was giving us revenue,
Mm,
and obviously that revenue is value. But we were spending a lot of time fighting fires and
yeah,
trying to take care of our team in a
yeah,
difficult situation. And that time has value. So when the
yeah,
client went, that meant that we had more time
yeah,
to A, get new clients, and
yeah,
B, we enjoy it. Like our
yeah,
leadership team, that's what we like doing. We like talking about what we do. We like, you know, being part of communities. You don't have time for that if there's a relationship that's taking up all of your mental effort. Exactly. So I think you get a lot of that back, and that
yeah,
helped us claw back the
yeah,
revenue. But it did take a while, and this is coming back to my market thing. Agencies, it's a difficult market out there. It
yeah,
really is. And any agency who's pretending that it's not, I'm skeptical,
yeah,
because whoever I talk to, those that are more open about what's going on,
mhm,
they're saying it's much more, the leads are coming in, okay, but it's much more difficult to close leads, partly
okay,
because the competition is really high,
yeah,
and partly because of AI.
yes,
So I think that that's impacting budgets. People are scared
mm,
to invest in something that apparently is, dead when it comes to SEO.
yeah.
Funnily enough, paid going much more leads now from paid. So we're in a lucky yeah, you'll be happy
Google
about.
ads are
Yeah.
doing well, guys. My
No,
PVC
but it's
audience
true.
folks will be happy to hear
It's
that.
true, but well, it's true though. I mean, I look at kind of like the leads that we're getting in, and
Yeah,
a majority of them is for paid advertising, because that seems a little bit more secure at the moment. Which is, it's a false. It's not actually, SEO is not dead. SEO is
yeah,
not dead,
yeah.
for the record.
No, I
But
don't
there's
think SEO is dead.
quite a bit of fear out there, so it's
Yeah,
it's taken a while. But we're in a much healthier position in terms of our customer
yeah,
concentration.
yeah.
Our profits are good. Our team is happy. So, it was the right decision. Lots of learning from
Yes,
it.
yes, lots of right decisions. And how many team members, if you don't mind me asking, like, did you lose from having to
So
fire that big
we
clients? Yeah.
we lost 2 team members.
Okay.
So quite a bit.
Okay.
But it wasn't just because of that one client. We've had another client leave because they decided to just go a different kind of, we weren't doing the channels that they were
Sure.
kind of
They
interested
wanted.
in, and just wasn't working. It was like a 3 months. We have these test ones where we will run an MVP for
Mm,
3 months, and to
mm,
see whether a channel is kind of viable for business.
yeah.
When we're not sure, then we'll say, okay, we can give it a go. From the
Yeah.
looks of it, it might work. Particularly for paid, that works. For SEO, you can't do that because it takes like a few months to even get results.
Yes.
But
Yes.
for PPC, you can do that if you're
Yeah.
not very honest. We say, okay, looking at the volume and kind of the projections,
Mm,
these are your numbers, but it
yeah.
all depends on your conversion rate on the other side of
Yeah.
the fence there. So
Yeah. Absolutely. Also, so what I'd also like, asking like people when they share mistakes is that there's some people in this stage that will be very pro, let's get the stuff solved. And there might be some people who are literally like challenging and just like, whose fault was this kind of thing? Like, why did this happen? Were there any people, those kind of people in the team that you're like, you are being the enemy of progress right now. Let's just get on the right track of solving this. Or was everybody pretty much on the same train of like, let's get the solution?
for the client that we let go,
Yeah.
it was difficult. We did a consultation with the team members.
Yeah.
Obviously, the team members who were like only working on those accounts,
Of course, we'll have
yeah,
issues.
will
Yes.
of course have issues,
Yeah.
because there were very capable, smart people who understood that if this happens, then it's not gonna, yeah,
Yeah.
it's not gonna
Might not end well
be
for them.
good
Yeah.
for them. But in general, this is what I mean about kind of thinking about the whole team and
Yeah.
everybody. I think it was time. It wasn't something that we did in, we're not talking about a week here or 2
Yeah.
weeks. We're
Yeah.
talking
Yeah. Yeah.
about a relationship that was tricky for 3 months,
Wow.
and it
Yeah.
was it started having a really big impact on
Mm.
on everybody. So I think
Mm.
by the end of it, everybody was for it, but all of us were, I don't know if you can say shit, but scared shitless.
You.
We were. I'm not gonna lie.
Yeah.
We were
Yeah.
like a week after I woke up in the morning thinking, like from a dream about this
Oh
client,
God.
thinking, oh my God, we made a mistake.
Oh God.
It's something
Yeah.
that it's not like, but we knew that it was the right decision. We
Yeah.
knew, but it was a scary one to do. So, yeah.
Okay. Look, we have so many, and I'm very grateful. I feel like you're helping me rein it in and not, I really could talk a lot
My
more.
God, the
And
two
there's
of
other
us.
things, yeah, the two of us. There are other things I want to bring on, and we don't make, this is not an hour-long podcast, guys. This is like a snappy main lessons, get to the point kind of episode. And I would like to, get Emina to speak on mistakes she's found from other people and mistakes she's found talked about in AI. But before we get into that stage, what's one final takeaway, Emina, you want people to take from that story that you've just shared in terms of, let's say you're the person who is in charge of making that decision of accounts kind of thing and of clients and they're a bit nervous and you know that you've seen the relationship go sour for like 3-4 months and you know you'd have to make the decision. What's your advice to that person? What's a takeaway for people?
Biggest takeaway really is to go back to your values,
Mm,
and your values are going to tell you if the decision is right or not.
mm,
And if commercial values are at the top of your list, then don't do it.
okay.
If it's not, then it might be the
Time.
right decision. It might be
Yeah.
time. So it
Yeah.
really comes down to the values you have for your company.
Okay. Interesting. Okay. All right. So now let's go into talking about some other mistakes that you've seen other agencies do in terms of like you've done an audit. What is like one or two like big mistakes that really gets under your skin as to how are people still doing this in 2026 even when new year we're into it.
I mean, I don't like to talk about other agencies doing a bad job
No.
because I think all of them, I would want to hope that all of them try and do the best for the
Yeah.
client.
Yeah. But if let's say we want to talk about
I have seen accounts
yeah.
that have been in a bit of a disarray,
Yeah.
and a bit is
Okay.
an understatement.
Okay. Well,
I
your
mean,
clients though.
so the one that we all that's kind of like it's a cliche, but
Yeah.
it's the broad match. I mean,
Yeah.
I come from Google Ads. When Google Ads were not Google Ads, they were, they had
AdWords, is it?
they were AdWords,
Yeah.
and they had the broad match modifier.
Yes, BMM. Like yeah, yeah. We show
So
our age when we even
yeah,
people by
yeah,
saying that.
so
Oh God.
I've been around for quite a long time, and you've seen lots of things, but one of the ones that does happen still is and I can understand why it happens, is this broad match thing. It happens because of that kind of recommendation, little pop-up.
Google. Love
So
it.
companies come and they said, well, I'm doing all of the recommended stuff. Think about who's recommending it.
Honestly.
And I don't say that as it's, you have to have critical thinking. I mean, I'm not saying Google is evil, or it's a business. They're trying to also, and it does sometimes for some campaigns, it might really work. I haven't necessarily, maybe if you had like custom audiences and everything else, maybe, I don't know. So that's like a big one.
Yeah.
That's like
So
the
it's
basic stuff.
so it's like mainly that whole, and I think because I'm with you on this, but some people are like, and you cannot just tell people not to use broad. I'm literally like, it's more like use broad with loads of targeting,
Yeah.
audience
Yeah.
targeting, and
Yeah.
sub-targeting and subcategories, because
Yeah.
just broad
But
on
most don't have
anything.
that data. That's the
Yeah.
problem. The problem
Yeah.
is that most companies do not have enough data to be able to put the guardrails
Oh,
on the other side so that they can, do the broad. I mean,
Yes.
I've seen accounts where there's no negative keyword lists. It's
Yeah.
just, for me, that's just, it's like mental. You don't like, you're running PMAX campaigns, or you're running like search campaigns on phrase match, and you don't have any negative keyword lists.
Gosh.
So
Gosh.
that's also a really big one. Sometimes you see targeting that is too narrow.
Mm.
So you'll get an account, and the client is going to be very particular about
Yeah.
who their ideal customer profile is,
Yeah.
which I always say you have to have an ideal customer profile.
Yeah.
However, you need to understand that not every channel will allow you the segmentation that you need. As an example, a client coming to you with high net worth individuals,
Yeah.
targeting, that's their target market.
Yeah.
You can kind of try and sort out your location targeting. For example, you can target areas that are more affluent
Yeah.
with your
Yeah.
ads. Okay,
Yeah.
so that's something that you can do to kind of make sure, not make sure, but to try and get the right audience. However, a lot of the time it just doesn't work. So you end up with a very, 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 even if that's done, you end up with a very small area, and the
Mm.
system has nothing to learn from,
Yeah.
and it just doesn't work. Or, you have a client that is expecting a keyword that has commercial intent, and it's the right
Mm.
keyword
Mm.
to just target people who are high net worth.
Mm.
It doesn't work. Even
No.
on LinkedIn, where you have company growth rates, those are not completely 100% correct,
No. No.
because we're talking about private information. So that's another big one. Oh, I could go on. I mean, there's so many. There's so ads,
How about mistakes when
creatives.
it comes to AI usage? I know you have lots of opinions on that one. They
Triggering
were
me.
sorry,
I
I'm
know you're
sorry.
triggering me. Okay, the first thing, the biggest mistake is believing the hype. I mean, it is. I was reading, I think it was Gartner or somebody or Deloitte, one of the big consultancies, came with the research around that we are currently in the valley of disillusionment when it comes
Mm.
to AI. And I think LLMs,
Yes.
if we're correct. And I think that is slowly happening, but there's a lot of snake oil out there being
Yes.
sold.
Yes.
In PPC, it's an interesting one, because
Mm.
when it comes to Google Ads, we're used to automation.
Yeah. Yeah.
AI
Exactly.
isn't something new. It's
It's
like,
not new. Scripts. We've been doing scripts for many years. And all this yeah.
exactly. So it's something that, PPC teams are maybe less paranoid about what's going on,
Yeah.
because they're more used to it. And
Yeah.
Google Ads has been more of a black box than,
Yeah.
for example, when you're looking at search, much more.
Yeah.
There is much less out on
Yeah.
how Google Ads
Yeah.
works these days
Yeah.
than on search. So I think there's this kind of idea that LLMs can, in in Google Ads, they're great for things like you do little scripts that you used to do anyway.
Mm.
We
Mm.
have scripts that do our UTMs, for example,
Mm.
on a client
Mm.
level. We have lots of scripts from other people in the industry that we're
Mm.
using in our campaigns. I did a little script for when PMAX came up with, no longer shopping campaigns are going to be prioritized, but,
Yes.
kind of if you run both of them.
Yes. 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 Yes.
I did a little script that basically tells you if you have the same thing running, to kind of like alert you that you
Yeah.
might be, it's on our website actually,
Interesting.
wasting some
Okay.
budget
That's a
for
good one.
PMAX. Yeah.
Yeah.
But LLMs in general, the biggest mistake is just believing the hype.
Everything.
Yeah.
Everything. Yeah.
Yeah. You
But
need
I
to use
also
them strategically. So,
absolutely. And I think again, it's really great how you say that of don't believe the hype, but use it strategically. I think some people there's
yeah.
also those people who are like, get this AI slop away from me. I don't want to see
Oh,
AI
God,
in the
no.
money. Don't ever use. And I'm like, no. That's going an extreme on the other end of things, and that's not actually necessary, but definitely use it. Like, I'll ask someone who's like assisting me with like doing work on PPC Live. I'll like, are you using AI for some of our posts? She's like, no, I never. And I'm like, why? Why not?
Yeah.
Like, sorry, why?
I mean,
I need you to work faster, and AI will help
I-
you do that. Why are you not using it?
I have a confession for you, Anu.
Please.
So I love using LLMs.
Yeah.
Again, coming back to, you have to be critical. So whatever you get out of it, like, don't just believe it.
No.
But one of the things with junior members of teams, I'm awful, that I do, if I get a question, I sometimes will just respond with a little robot emoji.
Okay. Almost like you can ask. What? Are you
Which
trying
is
to say?
basically a code for, have you asked Claude
Yes.
first?
Yes.
Because if you haven't asked Claude and you've asked me, I want you to ask Claude first.
Yeah.
And then you can give me, if you're not sure
Yeah.
about what the response is, you can give me that response and I will review it and tell you if
Yes.
there's anything, you know. But what I
Missing.
want you
Yeah.
to do is use the systems in the right way
Yeah.
and also be resourceful. Yeah.
Yes.
So for us, one of the main things in talking about values is I hire people. The first thing that I look for is somebody who is proactive.
Sure.
Yeah.
Sure.
Somebody who will actually go and look it up themselves first.
Yes.
Because that shows me the drive.
Yes.
Yeah. So yeah, I'm a little bit mean. I will, like, sometimes just post that little emoji of a little, you know, like
I think
a
I'm going to
robot.
start doing that. And if I feel guilty, I'll be like, it's because Emina said it. It's because Emina told me to.
Honestly, I don't know. I do feel guilty about it. I feel, does that make me a really bad manager or a really good manager? I still haven't, like, decided.
I think it might depend on the person, depending
Yeah,
on who you're
both,
dealing with.
probably.
Some people will be like, yeah, we love this. We love that. Some people will be like, what?
Well, you know, so far nobody has, like, actually complained. So
There we
hopefully
go.
it's all right.
That's a win. Well, we'll take that as a win. We'll take it as a fantastic win. Anyway, like, look, we've had such a fantastic conversation here. You've given us so much, from personal stories, mistakes we should look out for. There are mistakes. That has been such a full episode here. So yeah, thank you so much, Emina, for that. But before we leave you, a nice, fun, non-PPC question. If your PPC career were a movie, what would the title be?
So are we supposed to use real movies?
Any. It
Okay.
can be real, it can be not real, whatever
So,
you feel like it.
I think it would be The Martian, which is
Okay.
also a book, but by Andy Weir. I'm
Okay.
terrible with names. And it's about a guy who gets stranded and he's like a botanist or something.
Okay.
But he ends up doing absolutely everything
Okay. Okay.
because he's trying to survive.
Yeah. Yeah.
So he
yeah.
ends up being an engineer, a communication person, you know, like, and he has this kind of let's science the shit out of this
Right.
attitude to be able to survive this, like,
Yeah.
hostile environment.
Right.
And when I think about The Martian, that's how I see myself a little bit. Because I always say that I'm, like, too curious to specialize, and that's
Yeah.
very true.
Yeah.
And it is about, for me, there's really a big value in full stack marketers, particularly today when we're talking about LLMs and AI and
Yes.
understanding how it all works together, and having somebody in the team who can be that, you know, I always hated this jack of all trades,
Yeah, I know.
master of
No,
none.
no.
I don't think that's the right way to look at it. I think it's more about orchestration.
Yeah.
So yeah, it's The Martian.
It's The Martian. Fantastic.
I'm a
I
Martian.
love it. Absolutely. Absolutely. Yeah, you guys are actually going to be the first to hear this. And I'm going to say, I didn't tell Emina that I was going to announce it. But Emina has agreed that she's going to be speaking at our next PPC Live in person on the 29th of April. And that's going to be the evening before our big Brighton SEO. So that's going to be in Brighton. So you can't back out now. Sorry, Emina. Everybody knows.
Oh, God, you really put me in it now.
It's going to be fantastic.
wait.
So if you're going to be in Brighton, please join us. Try to book your accommodation so that you're there from the Wednesday evening. And as usual, it's not just going to be like a PPC talk. We're going to provide pizza and food, food and drinks kind of thing, so you can just really enjoy that evening with us. So we'd love to have you there. And Emina, where can people find you chatting about things and all the things you're passionate about before actually seeing you in April?
Oh, God. Just to say, I'm more nervous about speaking at PPC Live than at Brighton SEO. So I'm speaking at Brighton SEO as well.
Really? I don't understand.
But I'm so looking forward to it. That's
It'll
it.
be
You
great.
have to kind of throw yourself into it.
Yeah.
So where can people find me? On LinkedIn.
Yeah.
I'm on LinkedIn quite a lot. Slack.
Okay.
Slack communities. I'm big on that. And since recently on WhatsApp, I have too many WhatsApp communities now as well.
I need to add you to the PPC Live one then. You can be that one
Please
too.
do. I mean, that's the thing.
Yeah.
Sounds really cheesy. I really like, I love digital marketing. So I like talking about PPC even.
Yeah.
I have no.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I love
it's
that.
the work-life balance thing that I have a problem with.
It's so true. Like I was our previous guest, this lovely lady Andrea Cruz out of the US. She's the head of B2B at Tenuity, and she was talking about how she's amazing and she's just got such energy and such passion. And even before then, I was like, look, is it possible to be stressed about something that you actually enjoy? She's like, yeah. we really it's stressful. We can't think of doing anything else. It's not that I'm so stressed I want to leave. It's just that I'm so stressed I want it to be better.
Yeah. It's drive. It's drive. It's some people will. I'm not recommending it to anybody, but some people will get this drive from, and that can make you stress. I'll be stressed before the talk at PPC Live, and then I'll have the dopamine when I start doing it, and it's worth it.
Amazing. It'll be amazing. It'll be amazing. We can't wait to have you there, Emina. And thank you so much for this great chat that you've had with us. We've learned so much, and I'm sure the listeners have taken so much away from this. But yeah, thank you for now. See you in Brighton, and can't wait to chat later.
Thank you.
All right, bye. Thank you, Emina, for sharing that, very honest and transparent experience about something that is, was worth a lot of money. That was a big loss for an agency. That is not something reps from different agencies or people who work in different agencies are quick to share. So yeah, Emina, that was an amazing, transparent way of just showing us the importance of, ensuring that you're not putting all your eggs in one basket, or you're not putting, 80% of your eggs in one client basket. Ensure that you're getting the best in terms of relationship and, revenue from different kind of clients. So yeah, for all the information and the full transcript, please go to podcast.ppc.live to get show notes, transcripts, and everything of that fantastic conversation. So now in terms of PPC Live events, I do all the, podcast, production, and so depending on when this goes live, you might be in time for the PPC Live online that's happening on Wednesday, 18th February. So that's today as I'm recording, and that's happening at 3 p.m. British summertime. Though it's not summer out there, but like British time, GMT time. It's 3 p.m. happening, and it's happening up to 4:30. And we're going to be doing a recording. We're going to be streaming the recording of the talks of PPC Live 19, but also in the last half hour of it, so like from 4:00, we're going to have Dave Alexander and Niels Rujman joining for live Q&A. So if you get those who are joining at 3 p.m. and are going to be there at 4 p.m. can ask Dave and Niels questions directly. They're going to be joining us for that. So yeah, please join us or go to ppc.live to get to the YouTube link or to get to the LinkedIn. Go on our LinkedIn and you'll be able to see that we're live to join that. But if you're joining after 4:30, if you just go to our YouTube page as well, you'll be able to see the talk that we did, the recording, the streaming of all the talks that we did and the Q&A that we did. So yeah, go there as well. Go to ppc.live for that. But if you're not an online person and you're just excited for our next in-person event, put April 29th in your diary. We're going to be back at Brighton. So join us for that. Go to ppc.live. By the end of this week, we'll have the tickets up because can't wait to get that going. And a new structure that's going to happen because we want to reward, early buyers, people who plan ahead and buy their tickets on time. So we're going to start with an early bird sale, and after a few weeks, we're going to go to, normal ticket price, first ticket release. But we're going to have a final ticket release on the week of the event. So the week of the April 29th, tickets are going to go up again because, yeah, if you're going to be last minute, you're going to be charged for that. You're going to be charged for the stress that we're having. Oh my God, more people going to come? So yeah, make sure you get those tickets as early as possible, as cheap as possible. But whichever way, they're all the prices are going to be less than £100, much less than £100. Even the last minute ticket sales. So yeah, join us for that. See what that's going to be like. I'm sure that's something that can be expensed through your company for the amount of knowledge and knowledge share that you get, with the amount of people who are just ready to share their knowledge in a room with you, plus pizza and drinks, always guaranteed, for our in-person event on April 29th in Brighton. Go to ppc.live for those tickets. And before I leave you, I'm delighted to also share that I'm taking on coaching clients. So yeah, all you have to do is go to the marketinganu.com for that. If you just are struggling with your confidence, asking for that pay rise, asking for that promotion, and just trying to get ahead in the industry, if you've got stressful situations with managers or other colleagues, I'd love to help you through with that. Those are all issues that I've dealt with, even like things like imposter syndrome, not feeling that you're worth the role you're in. I can help with that. So go to the Marketing Anu for free 15-minute discovery call. And after that, yeah, we'll figure out what your needs are so that we can have a great coaching session set up. So yeah, I hope you've enjoyed the show, and I look forward to bringing more PPC F-ups and triumphs next week. Thank you. Bye.